Welcome to lesson 4 of Object-Oriented Swift with Bob Developer. In this lesson, you will learn how to create an init method that may return nil, or second, you will learn how to create an init method that may throw. Let's find out more. Alright guys, welcome to Failable Init. Today in this lesson we'll talk about can initialization fail. In Swift there are two ways to fail when it comes to initialization. We already learned the first way, which is the error handling method. Where this is a review we did last time. We learned how one init method can throw something, right? First of all, we have to design this enum with that confirms to error protocol. Okay, again, this is like you just follow, it's an instruction you have to follow. You made a struct last time, Udemy course, and let course name. You init it. If it's empty, you're gonna throw. So this is like fail. This is part where you fail when the initialization fail, and you simply throw name error dot no error. And if it's not empty, self course name equals name, and you execute this initialize it by using do catch block. Let my course try my course name Bob. My course becomes Bob. You don't have to do this, but you catch it. If it throws, hey Bob, please enter your name. All right, that's what we did last time. So this is the first way that initialization might fail. In this lesson, we're gonna learn the second way. Okay, so we call this. Well, let's go with the second way. I'm gonna design a failable init method. Well, it's nothing crazy. So, well, first of all, let's create a struct, or let's create a class this time. We've been using a lot of structs. Call it name. And we're gonna have an init method. Let's call it name. Name, and then we're gonna have, if name is empty, you wanna do something like nil. So, if it's empty, you can actually return nil. But hey, only a failable initializer can return nil. Oh, so how do you make this into a failable initializer? The only thing you have to do is voila, right there. That's it. That's how you make this failable initializer. But it's a hey, constant self name used before being initialized. That means hey, why don't you initialize the property right there, name? Okay. All good. So now here's what's happening. So let's create a blog. Actually, let's call Bob the Developer. That's a blog of my website. And create a blog. And it's gonna ask you to enter something, which is name. But here's a magic. You see this question mark? And again, we learned in chapter 1 that every time you see a question mark in Swift, you know what to expect, right? Again, what do you expect? Come on, say it right now. All right, I heard you guys. We called it optional, right? So now let's try to have a nil. Not nil, just empty string. So now if you click on it, you see that, boom, and this is an optional type. Okay, so you have to unwrap it. So hey, real Bob, let's call it Bob the Developer. You have to unwrap it, and then real Bob.name, this is a normal type. Okay, that's it. That's what that is mean by failable initializer. Failable is nothing more than an init method that could return potentially nil. Okay. Why are you complaining? Oh, because you're not. You cannot unwrap nil. Okay, that's why you're complaining. So this is why it is complaining. So if you change the Bob to developer, and there we go, you can unwrap it right there. Okay, so that's it. That's the purpose of this lesson. But so you might ask, what do I use? Do I use this approach of using try catch, even though it is pretty long, or do I use this init method? Well, you know my answer. What do you think? My answer is, here's my answer. I personally prefer error handling approach since it's more explicit and no need to unwrap. I hate unwrapping, okay? I hate unwrapping. Unwrapping causes extra lines of code, which is, but extra lines of code, that doesn't really mean much. Yeah, you could do something like if let Bob blog about the developer. Yes, that's how you can do it, but it's very tedious. It doesn't really add much to the programming itself. You're putting a lot more input. So But when it comes to error handling approach, what happens is, well, again, I love it because there are 3 parts. You exactly know what the errors are. But when it comes to failable init, you don't know what the error might be. You have to read the entire init method. You have to read the entire thing. It is not modularized. If you remember correctly from function, the bloated function, you don't want to do that. When it comes to roller coaster, yeah, you don't want to do that. And when it comes to init this way, you are doing that. You're making everything into one init method. You're handling the error. You're executing the init method. You don't want to do that. But you want to make sure things are separated into 3 nice pieces. So you have do block, you know what to catch, you know what the error is, and you know what the implementation of the struct or init method will look like. Okay, so I recommend you to use this method rather than using this. And of course, if you want to do something real quick, you want to make it something real quick, yeah, you can use it. But when it comes to maintainability, and also when it comes to better communication, longer might be better, because in the long run, you might spend less time, and that is less input. Okay, you might think this is less lines, fewer lines, so it's better. Well, that's not really the case. You have to look into the future, and sometimes, yeah, this way is okay, but this way is better for in the long run. Okay, guys. So hope you guys learned something new. This is something very nice and easy. So you might think, why do I even learn today with this one if you're not going to use it? Well, as I mentioned, it depends on the context, but when it comes to context, you've got to know everything in Swift. So you are able to choose what to choose, whether to use function, whether to use computer property. In Swift, in programming, you got to know all, and you got to know everything, because sometimes things exist for a reason, and if you don't know why it exists for a reason, then you're doomed. You got to know all. So in this lesson, you learned the very theoretical aspect, but now you can choose this way. Okay, so see you guys in the next lesson. Bye-bye. Boom. First, you've learned how to create an init method that may return an optional value or nil by putting a question mark right next to the init method. As we discussed many times, anything that has to do with question mark in the Swift programming language, you can tell that it will has to do with optional value. Second, you've also applied error handling approach to init method. Please remember that the throw keyword is not just used within guard statement or function, it can be also used within init method. In the next lesson, you will learn how to override everything in Swift when it comes to subclassing.